You're doing it backwards. Most people trying to land a high ticket sales role are just treating it like a numbers game. More DMs, more applications, and more hopping. But the real issue isn't volume, it's actually how you position yourself. And the reason why I can say that this does not work is because I was once one of you. When I first come into this space, I was messaging hundreds of business owners a day, basically begging for an opportunity, telling them every reason why I will be the best fit for them, why they should give me an opportunity over these other people, right? And I know you watching this, you have definitely done this before and it's not working. So if you're currently stuck in the motion of not being able to land a great high ticket sales role, then make sure you watch right to the end, because I'm going to show you how I've gone from sending hundreds of pointless messages a day to a very specific tailored approach, to a very specific value positioning approach that's going to make sure that you land a role within the next couple of days. So just shooting out random messages hundreds of times a day to online business owners, this just does not work, right? As you can imagine, now that you're in the high ticket sales space, or if you're looking to get into the high ticket sales space, you will know that there is going to be an appointment setter sat on their account anyway. So you're not even going to be talking to them, first of all. So the chance of even getting seen by the business owner is very minimal. And even if there is that chance whereby it is the business owner actually sitting on their Instagram account, their DMs are going to be flooded with people just saying the exact same things that you are. Again, something that doesn't work, which I've personally done in the past, just applying for any and every job, hoping to get lucky, right? And just taking whatever you can get. Do not do this. And the reason why it's so important not just to take any offer without doing your own due diligence is, for me again, I had done it, I had landed my first role in the space, and ultimately the opportunity was just shit. I wasn't in a vehicle that was actually going anywhere, which even in itself, I was thinking to myself, it took me so long to land this first role, so I'll just wait. It might get good. It might get good. And ultimately it didn't. And that just wasted months in my trajectory of my career growth within high ticket sales. Great offers don't hire randomly, they reduce risk. A company is not looking for a closer that is looking for a chance. They're looking to reduce risk as much as possible. So that's who they're going to take their bet on. So I'm going to talk you through my exact framework that I have learned from trial and error through hundreds, if not thousands of hours. And I'm going to break it down into 3 simple pillars. So pillar number 1, build proof before asking for opportunity. So what do I actually mean by this, first of all? So you need to essentially build assets that show that you are an asset for a business owner. Now this can come in forms of tracking sheets, call recordings, metrics, so on and so forth. So when you actually position this to the business owner, you're showing them how you're adding value to their business rather than you asking for an opportunity. So you want to build up a pipeline of role plays, recordings, and clips of your best moments. These could be highlight reels of you handling objections, every kind of objection under the sun, right? And again, you're delivering this straight to the business owner or sales manager, so on and so forth. And again, you are always looking to come from a value-driven approach, not can you give me a handout. So pillar number 2, actually position yourself like the asset. Now, one of the best ways that you can actually do this is in the form of Loom videos. And the Loom videos, I'm not talking coming from an online business owner that I get sent every single day, right? And you've probably done these yourself in the past, because I did when I started as well. It's that typical 60-second clip of, I'm new into the space, just give me an opportunity. I've just invested thousands into my education. I have no experience, but I promise I'm going to be the hardest working closer that you've ever had. Come on. Like, if you're a business owner, realistically, why would you do that when you could just take a bet on this guy over here that's already got receipts, he's already got proof, and he's already made money in the space? Why would a business owner in their right mind take that bet on you? Now, the next question you're probably thinking is, how do you get that experience without experience? And that sort of source there is exactly what I teach my guys inside the coaching program. So you can actually land these top tier roles without any experience at all, but you're still able to actually position yourself like an authority and an asset to that business owner. So pillar number 3 is actually targeting the right people. How do you position yourself in front of offer owners, in front of sales managers, in front of growth up guys? Now, how do I even do this? I'm going to separate this up into 2 parts. So first of all, how do you even find online business owners, right? Like 101 high ticket sales, right? Go on Instagram, search a niche, find someone in that niche, hit the plus button on their icon, then it's going to drop down with more people in the similar niche, right? Add all of those to your outreach sheet, click on the next one, plus, and you basically have an unlimited supply of online business owners. First of all, that's how we're actually going to find these online business owners in the first place. Now, how are we going to find people like sales managers, so on and so forth, right? This is what people do not do with job boards, and it's probably one of the most untapped things that are going to get you in the back door. People often just see job boards as, these people are hiring right now, let me just quickly fill in my details, apply, and see what happens. And again, as you can guess, that's what everyone else is going to be doing. So instead, whenever you go on these job boards, you can always see who is the offer owner, or who is the sales manager, or who is the recruiter recruiter. And when it comes to a recruiter specifically, their sole purpose is to place closers onto roles. So you're actually doing half of the heavy lifting for them. Now, how do you even get in front of these guys, such as sales managers, recruiters, growth up guys, and offer owners themselves without actually getting buried out in the DMs? So what works well for me personally, and this is something that I actually took from my corporate sales days, is using a data intelligence tool such as ZoomInfo, Cognism, Full Enrich, right? And for anyone that don't know what this is, essentially you're able to extract people's mobile numbers. So rather than messaging them on Instagram, even once you've got these great assets, I just go in the back door. I target them on WhatsApp. I know I'm speaking to the business owner, to the sales manager, or to the recruiter. I'm not just then being filtered out, buried in the DMs, or even just as an appointment set that sees it in the first place. Now, once I've got this phone number, what am I actually doing first of all? First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send them a quick voice note, right? Because look, I don't know about you, but if a random number popped up on my phone, they sent a message, I would probably read it more time than not. But if someone had sent me a voice note from a number that I didn't recognize, I would listen to that voice note 100 times out of 100. And essentially what you're actually doing in this voice note, you're just introducing the fact of how you're gonna showcase that you're going to add value to their business and that you're going to send a Loom video. Straight away after that, you're going to send your customized Loom video that is specific to them, solely how you're going to add value to their business. How are you going to make them more money? How are you an asset to them? And then from that point in time, because you've already built up your assets, you've built up your tracking sheets, your clips, your call recordings, right? This is exactly what you're going to be following up with. So 24 hours later, look, rather than me just saying, this is my ability, here's some call recordings. And if after 24 hours they still haven't replied, I'm going to deliver more value. Here's my tracking sheets. And really in doing this, you're just re-engaging with value, because look, how many times has a friend messaged you, even on WhatsApp, and it can still get buried, right? You know, you get busy, you see it, you put your phone down, you go to the gym, you eat dinner, and then they message you back the next day saying, oh, just giving you a nudge on this. And you know, it does just slip people's minds. So as long as you're following up with value, you will always get a response. So at this point in time, you've built up your assets, you are having conversations with online business owners or sales managers, recruiters, so on and so forth, and you're speaking directly to them now. And at this point in time, you've now landed an interview. So how would you even win in an interview and ensure that you actually land a role over anyone else? So first of all, in interviews, you've got the common sense questions that if you've had interviews in the past, they're all pretty much the same, or if you're brand new to high ticket sales, it's very much just, what's your experience? What have you done in this space? Why are you interested in working in this position specifically? Why are you leaving your last offer, right? All of those answers that you have to factor in, just very much common sense answers. But the crucial part is, how are you actually going to win? And how are you going to ensure that the business that you're actually working with has potential to scale and earn the money that they say you're going to make? Because again, a number one mistake that everyone makes in high ticket sales, again, I can say this because it was once me. You go through your coaching, you go through your training, you go through the honeymoon phase, you've done all of your outreach, and now you finally landed that role and you realize it's not quite what it was made up to be. You're not making the money that you was kind of told that you're expected to make, because they don't have the infrastructure in place to actually deliver on those kind of results. So how would you actually then avoid months, like it did for me, off your actually trajectory into your career within high ticket sales? So a couple powerful questions to ask here. The biggest one, what is your cash collected for the last 3 months and what are you pacing this month? Now, the reason why it's so important to ask this question, just for easy math's sake, let's say that role said that the OTE for a closer is 10K a month, right? As you'll know, a closer earns 10% commission of the total cash collected that they brought to that business that month. So for example, if they say you're going to earn 10K a month, then that means 100K a month into the business has to be coming in, right? So if they can pull up receipts for the last 3 months and say, 3 months ago we generated 120 grand, month 2 we generated 80 grand, and then month 3 we've just generated 100K, and now we're in the middle of the month in month 4 and we're currently sitting around 40K. Okay, so you can clearly see that what they're doing and the vehicle that you're stepping into actually works, and you have the best possible opportunity of making the money that they actually say, first of all. So that's how you're going to save so much time off just sitting on shit offers. Believe me, I've been there. I feel like I'm saying it a lot now, but people watching this, either you would have been there or you're watching this thinking about getting into high ticket sales, and you will be there if you don't avoid that mistake. Now, another very, very powerful question that you must ask on an interview at the end, and all hiring managers, sales managers, or the offer owner themselves, they love this question. And the question is, based on our conversation today, is there any reason why you feel like I wouldn't be a good fit for the role? Now, the reason why you actually ask this question, in all honesty, is because if they say to you, no, looks good, right, for example, brilliant. you've done a good job. But even more importantly than that, the real reason why we actually ask this question here is it enables us to pre-handle any objections that they might have about us without them coming to their own conclusion off the back of the call. For example, let's just say in the interview you had no conversation about how much cash collected have you done in the business, and they've only asked you how long have you been in high ticket sales for example. I've been in high ticket sales for 4 months. Okay, is there any reason why I wouldn't be a good fit for this role? No, to be honest with you, you look like a great fit. At this point in time, we have another candidate and he or she has been in the space for 8 months now. So, he might just be edging it at the minute. So rather than that business owner coming off the call and thinking, this guy's got more experience, I'm just going to go with him. Now you're able to actually pre-handle that objection. Okay, cool. Out of interest, what was that person's cash collected in the last 8 months? 250K. Okay, no worries at all. Well, look, the reason why I asked that is because although I've been closing for 4 months, my cash collected is actually 400K. And look, I can pull up my tracking sheets here, so on and so forth. So all of a sudden, and now actually you are the authority to take this role over that other candidate. So again, that really just enables you to actually pre-handle any objections without the online business owner coming to their own conclusion. Now, how are you even going to land the role before you've even had the interview? So we've been talking a lot about building up these assets, these call recordings, these tracking sheets, so on and so forth, right? And again, it was a hard lesson that I had to learn. When I first come into high ticket sales, there was a role that I was going for at the time. Me and this other guy was neck and neck. And the only reason why he got the role over me is because during the interview and the decision-making process, he was very proactive and not reactive. He was proactive in sending these call recordings, these tracking sheets, which ultimately from the business owner's perspective, they want a closer to be proactive because that shows signs of his traits on the business. Is he just going to wait for calls to get booked in his diary, or is he going to see that the calendar's a bit low and he's going to go back into the calls that happened in the past and try and actually generate pipeline himself? Again, it just builds up that bigger picture, and I'd say only 1% of people are actually doing that, right? And even now I've took it a step further. I even actually send them all of these assets before the interview, and then during the end I just give them a nudge to say, not sure if you've had a chance to see that, I'll send it to you again, and send it to them during or after the interview and during the decision making process, which actually brings me on to the last point. If you don't land the role, always ask for feedback. And the reason why is because you can always take a nugget from every single interview that you have to apply it into the next and the next and the next, right? And that's exactly what happened with me in that case that I just told you there. I only now know to be proactive during an interview because someone else done it over me. And I only knew that of asking for feedback. So you can always take nuggets from an interview. Don't see you not landing a role as a loss, because you can always take something out of it that will then lead into the next interview to give you the best possible chance of actually landing that role. So just to recap, here's some of the biggest mistakes that you need to avoid. Number one, taking any offer. Again, as I've already explained, you can waste months and months and months within high ticket sales of working with a business that just isn't going anywhere. Number two, just sending generic loom videos. I'm the best closer you're going to ever have. I'm brand new to this space, but I promise I'm hard working. I want to get out of my job. Quit all that shit out and make you look like an amateur. And ultimately, that's what the 99% are doing. Even if it was good, you still just look the same as everyone else. You want to stand out and you want to be different. Number three, not training daily. A lot of people think do your training at the start and then you land a role and then you've made it. No, you need to still get 1% better every single day, and you land that role that actually has the potential to be life-changing and truly give you the life that you want. Well, now you need to put your money where your mouth is and back it up and get results, because as quickly as you can land that role, you can also be gone. So look, you can keep looking for shortcuts, and in watching this video, you've probably gained a lot of value, but the reality is we still haven't even scratched the surface yet. And if you want to become the type of person that good offers actually take seriously, then I actually coach guys how to do this properly, of how to actually land the top 1% roles in a matter of days. And I've personally coached hundreds of guys into the high ticket sales space to do exactly that. So there'll be a link somewhere in the description. You can book a call in with me and we'll build a custom game plan specifically around you to showcase how we can take you from A, which is barely knowing if anything about high ticket sales, to Z, which is get you to your actual dream life.